Hey everyone, it's me Miranda and welcome back to my channel. I'm doing a very impromptu book tag that I decided to do last minute, like 20 minutes before I actually have to leave for work. And I'm coming at you live from my mudroom of my apartment because the lighting is just magnificent right now and I feel like I look like I have giant bags under my eyes, so whatever, we'll see how this works out. And on top of that, I'm recording on my phone, so I apologize for the maybe not so good quality. I'm not really sure yet. I've only done like one or two other video on my phone, so I'm not sure if I love it or hate it, and I just didn't feel like charging my camera to actually do a big sit down whole to do. So today I wanted to do the bookshelf magazine tag created by the lovely Harriet Rosie, who actually tagged me because I am taking part in helping to write articles for the new bookshelf magazine that she has created, and I'm so excited. We've been working with a bunch of lovely people who I probably would not have had an engagement with otherwise, so I'm really thankful for Harriet for bringing together just a bunch of different people who are writing about different things. We have a lot of different articles, and basically what this tag is that every question is for a different type of article that we will be writing monthly on the bookshelf magazine that we will be doing. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Book review, a book that you could talk about for hours. Well, seeing as I just finished this book and I honestly cannot wait to record my gush about this book, I would have to say You by Carolyn Kepnes. I am like obsessed with this book. I was taking pictures while I was reading just because some of the shit that comes out of this like guy's mouth when he's thinking, I guess it doesn't actually come out of his mouth, but some of the things that he thinks is just nuts. Like, I'm laughing, I'm crying, I'm doing all these things. I'm very excited. I am going to be doing a video where I'm basically reading my favorite passages from the book, which is not going to be really a spoiler because it's just going to be like certain sentences here and there, so out of context you won't really know what's going on because basically this guy is just nuts. So number 2 would be author spotlight, so an author that you read a lot of books about, and I was really excited when I watched Harriet Rosie's video because her answer for this one actually happens to be the same answer for me, which would be Karen Slaughter. I've read a lot of her books, not all of them because she has tons and tons, it's almost like they're endless, but I've read a lot of her books and I do love her books. She's a gruesome writer and I actually like that a lot. Her ideas are so original and some of the twists and turns that happen you just would not ever see coming, which I think is really great. And it goes hand in hand with Gillian Flynn, so she's another person that I read a lot of books about, or by I should say, because I love her writing as well. Number 3 is interviews, so a bookish person that you would love to pick their brain about. This one's kind of hard. I don't know if it'd be a specific person or more of just like a group of bookish people, but any author, I think, and I say any because I really feel like I could talk to somebody who writes about anything, fantasy, thriller, regardless of what I personally prefer, because I feel like the ideas of creativity are all somewhat the same, and yet very different at the same time. So I would love just to learn the creative process of somebody who writes books and how they do it. I'm a very structured person, so for me sometimes it's hard to envision the creativity process that comes along with actually writing a novel, especially fiction. Nonfiction I can visualize a little bit more and see how that would happen, but fiction gets me a little bit because, I don't know, maybe I'm not that creative. Question number 4 are there any indie bookstores near you? And I actually love this one. I'm hoping that in the future I can write a little article for the Bookshelf magazine about this one because I travel a lot within the eastern side of America. And I actually love to go to well, I'm from Connecticut, if you don't already know that. So I love to go to New York, and I love to go to Maine and Massachusetts and Rhode Island. And my boyfriend and I always stop at independent bookstores along the way because I'm quite literally obsessed with them. And I just love taking pictures, and it's always like a personal vibe that you get from them. So yes, there are a lot in my area, and I can't wait to show them with you guys eventually. Number 5 would be recommendations by genre. So the genre that you read the most, and I think you all know by now that for me, that's going to be thrillers. I read a ton of them. Actually, recently I've been reading so much that I think that has been the cause of my restless sleeping and nightmares. So in September, I've actually switched it up a little bit. I'm listening to Percy Jackson, the first book, an audiobook, and I absolutely love it, so I'll probably continue that series. And I just picked up The Heretics Anonymous, I can't talk, which is a YA comedy, and I am loving it so far. I'm only about 30 or so pages in, so I'll let you know how that goes, but I like it so far. So I'm staying on this light comedic trend just because I am tired of having nightmares, and eventually, hopefully I can go back to my thrillers. Number 6 would be a bookish opinion that you feel strongly about. I don't know. I really haven't thought about this one. I'm kind of doing this as it comes to my mind, but I guess if I had to say is that, I mean, and you could read whatever you want. You don't have to read a specific thing. Sometimes I feel like when I'm talking with other people who aren't really a part of like the bookish community or the bookish online community, and you say, oh, like I read a lot of fiction, they're like, oh, well, if you don't read nonfiction, is that even reading? And I'm like, wow, that's like the most ignorant thing you could say. So I don't know, and I guess it's just like, just because you don't read all the time or you're not like a voracious reader, I think that even if you were to pick up one book a year, that's something to be proud of. And I think sometimes people feel that if they don't read a ton of books that it doesn't really matter and it doesn't really count, so then they don't read at all, which I think is wrong. And that's really all I have to say about that. Number 7 would be recommending bookish people, or bookish creators. So bookstagrammers, booktubers, book Twitter, I guess, bloggers. For me, I'd have to say I'm big with the bookstagrammers. I actually, here's a little sneak peek, but I wrote an article for the Bookshelf magazine recommending some bookstagram accounts because bookstagrammers are people too, and their feed and their content actually matters too. And I feel like sometimes there's a division between Booktube and Bookstagram, I guess you could say, in the sense that there's not really that much crossover. So whenever I see somebody who is a Bookstagram convert to Booktube, I get super excited because that's what I did, even though I'm still very active on all platforms. So I don't know, if I had to pick one person, it'd probably be my go-to, my book BFF. One of my best friends, Erica from the A's Reads, which you can find her over on Instagram. She's great. She reads a lot of thrillers, crime fiction like I do, and she updates her blog regularly, and she has really great recommendations. So if you are into that kind of thing, I would go check her out. I'll link her down below for you guys to go check out her content. Question number 8 would be readathon roundup. So your favorite readathon. Honestly, I've only really partaken in 2 since I started doing like bookish things, but I guess my favorite would have to be thrillerathon, and I don't really think that needs any further explanation because I'm me. Question number 9 would be publishing trends, a trope that you enjoy in books. I don't know. I know one that I don't enjoy, which would be unreliable narrators. I mean, I don't even know if that is a trope. I would think it would be one. That's one I don't like. I'm not really sure of one off the top of my head that I do like, so I'm just going to give one that I don't like for that answer. And question number 10, who do you tag? Honestly, I've not looked at this before and like written down things, so these are just people that I'm thinking off of the top of my head, but I would have to do Blake from the book Babel because you've tagged me before and now it's my turn to tag you. And I'd have to do Rachel Marie because she's amazing and I love watching her tag videos, so why not add one more to her list? And I'd have to say that's it for now because I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. Trying to think. Yeah, no, that's all. Oh, what's my page again? Shelby. I would love to hear what she would have to say for this one, so I'm going to tag her. So those are the 3 people. I'll link them down below so that you can check out their stuff as well. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this today, my little impromptu tag. And I really hope that you guys stay tuned for the launch of the Bookshelf magazine, which will be October 1st. I've got a couple articles that I'm writing in it that I'd love for you guys to read and give me some feedback. And I know that there's a lot of bookish content creators who are putting a lot of energy into this, and we're super excited for you guys to be a part of this and to see it on its journey. All right, have a good day, guys. Bye.